Great. All right, we're ready to continue getting on. It looks like they are standing by and ready to take the stage. So again, we're going to hear from Cars Commerce, and we're going to have a fireside chat with Alex Vetter, CEO of Cars Commerce. And so I'd like to welcome up again Mike Stanton, President and CEO of NADA, and Alex Vetter. Please give them both a round of applause. Gentlemen, welcome. How are you?
Good, thank you.
You're doing a great job.
Thank you. Nice to meet you. Thank you very much.
Nope, just a talk. How's everybody doing? Getting a little rest, huh? So Alex and I were just talking. It's our 25th show. I was trying to one-up him, but it's his 25th show in a row as well. So thank you, Alex, for your commitment to NADA and to the show. But you just made news. It was a day or two ago with an acquisition. Can you talk a little bit about that, please?
Sure we did. First of all, it's great to be here and see everybody, and thank you to NADA. It's important, well, first of all, the company we acquired is called Dealer Club, and it's a wholesale trading platform built for dealers by a dealer. And Joe Neiman, the founder of ACV, this is his second incarnation. And as Joe and I talked about the industry and where it's headed, we agreed on a lot of common problems, which is dealers need less fees, more efficiency, and partners that are giving power back to them. And so one of the essences, what I loved about Dealer Club, is that we pay sellers to sell cars on our wholesale marketplace. And so we charge only the buy fee, but sellers get rewarded and get paid to sell on the platform. It's also differentiated because it's reputation based, so that dealers are front and center with their reputation and their past trading history front and center. So if a dealer doesn't send a title or misrepresents the condition of the car, not as advertised, you as the buyer can penalize that seller by scoring them low on that transaction. Over time, you know, the reputation of the seller is a big part of the deal. And where that's similar to my Cars.com business is we've never run a race to the bottom. Other marketplaces love to pit you guys against each other, tell you to lower the price of your cars, to climb to the top of the search results, and then they charge you more for that privilege. That's a classic race to the bottom model. In our model, our algorithms favor consumer sentiment. So if you're a 5-star dealer on our platform, you're organically going to elevate in our rankings, because ultimately what we find is the delta on what you pay for a car has become, you know, very small over time. The internet has brought such transparency. It's really more about the customer experience, and can they trust you? Are you going to be a reliable person that they can drive an extra distance and know that you're going to, you know, take care of them on their trade? And so we've always elevated experience and reputation in our core consumer retail marketplace. Dealer Club does that as well and returns half the profits back to you.
Nice, nice. So a lot of optimism, changes in Washington. The dealers I'm talking to are very excited about the potential that change is going to bring, in terms of, you know, the government has been in the business of telling dealers what they're going to sell via mandates and how they're going to sell it via the FTC. So a lot of optimism. As you look at this coming year, we're already in it, what are you concerned about, and are you as optimistic as the dealers I'm talking to?
Well, I'm excited because we've been through a lot of crazy cycles over the last 3 to 5 years with just big macro changes, and I do see, I'll call it normalization for the first time, you know, starting a year where, you know, you've got the new car market improving. I think volume was up 2%, which is modest, but good considering where it's been. As you guys know, that puts pressure on used car pricing, coming down about 5%. So the market is gonna normalize a bit, which is good for, you know, most operators who know how to run their business, but dealers we talk to are trying to find new profit centers which they can capitalize on, and we do think wholesale should be a profit center for dealerships. There's no reason, with the volume of buyers that are out there, you should have to wholesale vehicles and incur, you know, so many costs for inspectors, fees, like you're giving away your profits. And so by moving to this differentiated pricing model, we think we can help dealers turn wholesale into a profit center and a big opportunity. You know, I also just think that technology is speeding operations. Most dealerships are now acquiring 2, 3 stores. They're moving up to 8, 12, some cases 30 dealer footprints, and they're looking for technology that they can run across a platform of dealerships and get operating leverage. And that's what Cars Commerce was built to do. Enable you to get data across all your websites, appraisal technology that you can do in minutes, and appraise cars quicker and trade inventory amongst your stores, and then list your cars for sale and advertise it to an in-market car shopping audience. So I think dealerships are trying to find new ways to get leverage in their operations to reduce your operating cost and even your human capital cost. I mean, we've got dealers that said, Alex, I loved my way we used to appraise cars, but the guy that did it, we had to pay him $175,000 a year and take 40 minutes for every car. We now pay a college kid $80,000 a year, and they appraise cars in minutes using AccuTrade. They're dropping that human capital cost down, and they're running a more efficient business using technology and data to pave the way.
Well, let's talk more about the technology and data, because I've always said it's a simple business if you just think about a customer wants a great product and they want a great customer experience. It sounds simple, but it's not. And we need all this technology and all these exhibitors on the floor to help us deliver on that customer experience. So what's holding us back as an industry? We've made great strides, but we need to do better. And as I mentioned before, it's kind of car company, dealer, technology provider, all the above that we need working together to make that happen.
Well, look, you may have teed me up for a little bit of a commercial plug, so I apologize. But
that's what they told me to do, Alex.
Well, look, I don't know.
I
don't know if the Amazon people are in the room, but you are going to fail. And the reason you're going to fail is that the last mile of auto is hard. It is a tough road to move people through that final last mile of the transaction. And local dealers have proven reliably the best operators at handling that trade-in, exchange, new sale opportunity with ease and efficiency. And it's getting faster and better every year. To think that digital retail is going to all of a sudden magically fix that last mile is a fool's errand. And I'll say to the OEMs here, we've got 65% of Hyundai dealers on Cars.com today. If you want to move volume, give me a call. Let's start putting Hyundai cars in front of competing makes and models and drive that volume directly to your retail network, as opposed to trying to create some new, PR-driven media frenzy around Amazon, which, by the way, tends to destroy local retail. When you look at the arc of that company's history, that's all they've done is eliminate local operators and mom and pop shops. So, it sounds great. I think it's a fool's errand. I think the industry, if they would embrace the partners who've been here for 25 years, giving back to the dealer community, exhibiting with NADA, we're your white hat. We're here to support you. We're not ever going to get into your business. We're a tech enabler. You're the operator. And once we start to realize who's in it with us and who's against us, I think we can unlock a lot of value.
Yeah, I agree. So, I think one of the reasons we get along so well is you have been a staunch advocate for the franchise system. And you talked a little bit about that just now. What, as you look at what some of these companies are attempting to do, now I'm talking about Honda and VW specifically, creating sub-brands to sell direct to consumers and compete with the dealer partners that, let's face it, they've helped them get to this market with all the investments that they've made. What would you say to those folks?
Well, I think they're going to burn through a lot of capital and piss off a lot of investors because there won't be a return. And of all the companies that wanted to figure out a direct-to-consumer digital solution, Cars.com's been in it for 25 years. You'd think we'd study it and try to figure it out. But what we consistently see is the difficulty in that last mile, exchange. And the costs are prohibitive to try to do that. We know service is the number one need of most owners, that's actually more valuable than the purchase experience. We spend a lot of time on the purchase experience, but it's the ownership experience that dictates brand loyalty. And you're not going to do that as a national company. You better be boots on the ground at the local level. So I just think, tech is an enabler, but it can enable a local system. And that's what we've concluded. With all our years in the market, if we enable our partners to use technology and create a better customer experience, they're going to delight the user far better than the tech. And yes, they want to use technology to show that they're being transparent on valuation. That's why, our appraisal, we'll show the consumer why the car is priced the way it is based on all the supply and demand data that Cars.com has. And consumers value that transparency, much like they look at a Zestimate for a home, right? They want that validation from a third party, and the dealers that embrace a third party validation and use that as evidence that they're being transparent, they remove friction from the customer journey. And I think that's where we're headed as an industry. It's just being more tech first. And by the way, to the OEMs and dealers, no more capital allocation towards new showrooms, shiny, coffee bars. Like, start investing your capital into your digital experience, because that's where the consumer's already gone. Yes, it's nice to have a nice showroom, but like, you gotta invest where the customer is, and they're spending far more time looking at you digitally than they are spending in your physical stores.
For sure, and we've been very vocal in NADA that we're going to challenge those direct sales efforts. It's just unconscionable to think that you'd compete directly with your dealer partners who've invested so much. It's absolutely crazy. Hopefully they'll wake up and come to their senses, and we don't have to spend a lot of money paying lawyers, because it's very difficult to make a great car. And it's, as you've mentioned, Alex, it's very difficult to create a great customer experience. It may have looked easy during COVID. It's not easy. And it's a very competitive business, very transaction-based. It's just dealing with the employees, just the employees. And you got all the customers. Focus on what you do best. Build great cars and pick your best partners and let them take care of the customer.
Well, Mike, I appreciate your sentiment on advocacy. I was raised by entrepreneurs who ran small businesses, so it's kind of in my DNA, although I never want to be a car dealer. That's like kickboxing. I'd rather stick with technology and let you guys do the heavy stuff. But I will put an agenda item on NADA's plate for 2025. And one of the things we're doing for all of our Dealer Inspire website customers, we power about 8,000 websites for dealers across the country. And what we continue to see are third-party companies tagging dealer websites with, tags on your websites, but we have no commitment to what that data is being used for. And in many cases, dealers have asked for features and services to be put on their website to power various experiences. But I think there's enormous data loss, and we don't think these vendors are being transparent with the dealers as to what they're doing with your audience data. And I think that NADA has got to take a leadership role here to help. We'll police. These are the vendors that are on your website. Every quarter, we'll produce a report. You need to validate that, A, you approve that they can ride on your back, and 2, that you have an agreement with that vendor that you know what they're doing with your data. Number 3, what I'd like to see us do too is, it's okay if an OEM is taking your information, but why not do a rev share back with the dealer on where they're using your data? You're spending millions of dollars to drive traffic to your website. I don't know why other people should be able to use that and then profit from it without revenue sharing with dealerships. So a big theme, Mike, I'm going to be coming to see NADA. We've been analyzing 8,000 websites. We're going to name names. These are the companies that are riding on the dealer websites, and we need NADA's help to develop fair business practices to both protect dealer data, but make sure it's far more transparent what third-party vendors are doing with dealer data.
Well, you got my commitment to listen,
Awesome.
learn, and to help, because I agree with everything you're saying. NADA made a meaningful step in this direction with the transactional data, and we partnered with Authenticom, and it used to be the Authenticom Dealer Vault, it's now the NADA Vault. And we need dealers to understand not only where their data is going right now, but which fields are going to which vendors. All that should be very easy to manage, and the NADA Vault has made that possible. But we've got to raise the awareness. We've got to get dealers to, data is like the new oil, I've heard that. And if the data doesn't flow the way it should, it's going to hold us back in delivering that customer experience. Customer doesn't care. They don't care if it's the manufacturer, the dealer. They want a great product. They want a smooth experience that is very transparent.
Appreciate your commitment.
Yeah, you got it. What else you want to talk about?
Whatever's on these guys' minds.
Anybody got any questions? Statements? Concerns? Anybody want to take any shots at Alex? All right, well, we thank you for your time and your attention. We hope you have a great rest of the show. Thank you for
Thank
all you did to get here. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.